evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the notice of the Finance Committee meeting. You are hereby summoned to attend the meeting of the Finance Committee of Hemsworth Town Council to be held in the main hall, Hemsworth Town Council Community Centre, Bunshaw Road, Hemsworth, commencing at 7:15 on Thursday, 14th of April 2022 for the purpose of transacting the following business. So we're going to move down to item number 1, apologies for absence. Yeah. Item 2, declarations of interest. Council should disclose pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest in any items on this agenda. Item 3, public question time. Is there any questions from the public? No, we'll move on.
Yes, I have.
Sorry, yeah.
I would like to ask if yourself and the clerk would like to retract your derogatory comment you made about people who use the social media network.
I am getting a response to you, Mr. Conway. I don't retract anything I said about the Hemsworth ferry. I stand by what I said. I did not at all, and they are recorded. The meeting was recorded. I never insinuated that the parish people are scum.
Use that word, what, they are scum.
No, I did not.
Well, that can be proved. You said they are scum.
So I will not retract it, no.
Right, okay. What about you then, Mr. Kenny? Are you going to retract yours? Because you said all them who use them are non-diplomas and nondescripts. I always use it with my name.
To ferret and people behind them. If you'd listened, you'd have got that. And if you want to watch the video again, I think it's on our website.
Can't hear you.
Just a minute.
Both myself and Councillor Jean Eccles referred to the ferret and the people that are behind the ferret as non-diplomas and no but scum because of what Jean's been through and some of the family. So that's what they referred to. And if you listen to the recording that's on our website or that's out there, you'll see that that's what was said. Nothing was meant to members of the public whatsoever.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kenny, I just don't believe you for some reason.
Well, listen to the videos.
It's your opinion.
It is my opinion, yeah.
Any more questions?
People's opinion, isn't it, that?
Any more questions? Right then, so we'll move on to item number 4, minutes. To receive and approve the minutes of the meeting held on 10th of March 2022.
Move them, Chair.
There's a second. Yeah, they'll be moved. Item 5, subcommittees, finance subcommittees, 24th of March 2022. Can we have a mover? Item 6, payments of the accounts, March 2022. Can we have a mover? Yeah. Item 7, request for grant support. Consider the following requests for grant support. A request from Martin House Children's Hospice.
Yes, Madam Chair, the request's been circulated to members. It's up to the committee.
Sorry.
Yes, Madam Chair, the request has been circulated to the committee and it's up to the committee now if it wishes to make a donation to Martin House Children's Hospice.
So can we have obviously we want to donate, it's just how much to, is it £200? Is everybody in agreement with that? Yeah, all in favour? That's, yeah, £200.
Will that be enough?
Well, I think £200 a generous donation, and it's compared to nothing. It's, I think it's, and it's a good. Obviously, any children's hospice is worth £200. Item B, a request from Keep It Clean, Hemsworth. Again, I think they do a good job in area, and I would obviously recommend that we do grant them for £200 and or something where thereabouts. I mean, Alan, if we could provide them with the items that they need, if Alan, you can see what they do need, so we can purchase it for them.
Yeah, do a good
I think
job.
that might be better as well.
Do a very good job. Do a good job, Ron.
Yeah, I've just said, yeah, they do a brilliant job.
Why like a very favourite, but,
Are we all in favour of 200?
yeah,
Come on,
definitely,
Ben.
definitely.
Yes.
There's Tim here,
Yeah, ask
so
him.
he's got an idea of what we'd like.
Hiya. So yeah, at the moment we've just been obviously planting around a couple of the areas, some trees, some sort of undergrowth as well. And at the moment we're just looking to continue doing that. To be honest with you, spread that around a couple of areas, get some more people involved, and just sort of ramping it all up towards the summer. Obviously we've got things like equipment for children that we could do with as well, because most of the equipment that the council provide is the bigger adult size pickers and things like that. So they're not that expensive, but just having a couple of them just so when kids are getting involved, they're doing so in a bit more of a safer way, that'd be great.
Yeah, if you could, I mean, if somebody could let Alan know what we need for children, then I'm sure we can
Yeah, absolutely.
accommodate them.
Yeah, they're
I'll
very
send you a
cheap,
quote, yeah, that'd be great, thank you.
they're very cheap then, but they never, as long as they've got gloves and that. for 'em.
Have they applied to Wakefield Council for a grant as well? Because they're doing jobs that the district council should be doing. We pay enough council tax. Why should we have to depend on voluntary people to do jobs that they should be doing?
It's been said before, you're absolutely right, I've said it before. Can I ask that gentleman, have you applied to Wakefield for anything? For any grant?
So to be honest with you, this is the first grant that we've applied for. We've only been going about a year. In that time, we've sort of collected around 1,600 odd bags of litter just from this area. So it's just been a new thing, opening a bank account, applying for this is the first grant. And yeah, we are looking at other grants as well, but thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Tim, would £200 be enough to get you started, or do you think you could require a bit more?
No, absolutely fine.
That's fine, it'd be great. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Right, item C, a request from Bag Fairies.
I think you know more about these, Lynn, don't you?
Actually, Dawn's the lady that runs it.
All right, that's better still.
Sorry, I'm not asking for money. My name's Dawn Pottage. I run the clothing bank down in South Kirkby. We've been there 8 years. I took over 2 years ago. South Kirkby and Moorthorpe Town Council have very kindly given us the premises on a peppercorn rent, but we have to move out for the premises to be refurbished roughly within about 18 months. It depends when we can get the funding to have it done, which means that if we can't find somewhere else to work from, then we'll probably have to close down while the refurbishment is carrying on. We are looking for somewhere that is more permanent, to move away from the pavilion. I have put feelers out in different places trying to find us new premises, because the demand for our service is becoming more and more and more. Since January, we've helped 300 families, and when you think in some of those families there's 5 or 6 children, they're coming to us for clothes, shoes, coats, toiletries, small kitchen items, bedding, duvets, you name it. If we've got it, they're welcome to it. We just can't work from where we are now. In the winter it's freezing, we have to wear long johns, but that's getting away from the point. What I'd like to ask the council is, in the long term, if you have any premises available that would be suitable for us to work from, because at the moment we don't feel that we're able to help as many people as we'd like to, because the space is so limited. And the other thing is that we have got 2 weeks at the moment to empty out a space that was given to us temporarily. We've been given 2 weeks to empty it. That 2 weeks is up on Tuesday. So it either means I've got to get rid of all the donations that people have given us, clothes and things.
Right, can I just say, I've got quite a big garage, I'm willing to put any clothing up.
Oh,
for you.
right. Thank you for that.
No, but I'm more than willing, I've got a big garage.
Right, is that in Hemsworth?
Yeah, just up road on Springvale.
Okay, that will help. That will help.
No,
at
I
the
know
moment.
what great work you do, I've seen it on Facebook. So.
Yeah, we try our best. We don't get any funding from any governing body because we're not a registered charity. I don't want to become a registered charity because there are that many hoops to jump through, that much paperwork to fill in, and at 68-year-old I can't cope with all that. I've enough on trying to help the people that need our help. It's not just people in South Kirkby we help. I deliver to people in Hemsworth, Fitzwilliam. I've got a couple of drivers that deliver to Wakefield, all the surrounding area. If we can do it, we do it. If we can't, we can't. A lot of people come and pick up. So we just, if you have any properties available that you think would be suitable and you can help us out, it would be very much appreciated because it's just getting a bit stressful.
It will be.
Oh, no, you do amazing.
It's just when you care so much about people, you know, when you want to help them.
So how long's it going to be out of your...
Sorry, I didn't get upset.
Well, they're doing it up then, how long are they going to take?
I don't know. And they don't know yet because they haven't got all the funding that they need to do the pavilion up. I mean, it keeps getting vandalised as well. Yesterday, they kicked all the rendering off that was on the outside. The only bit that looked nice, the vandals have been and kicked all the rendering off. And at the minute, it's a bit dangerous in there as well because we've got one way in and one way out. At bonfire night, the kids were throwing bangers in. No, it started to set the floors on fire. We'd have had no way of getting out of the building.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, but we're grateful for the space that we've got, and we've had it for 8 years with just a penny a year peppercorn rent. But it's hard asking for things when you know you haven't got the money.
Yeah.
You know to pay the rent, because it's not just rent, it's rates, it's gas, it's electric. With no heating either, we had no water for 3 weeks. We had to use a camping toilet. So it's just one thing after another. All right. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for that.
Oh, surely we can think of something for you.
Well, we have to ask Alan first if there is. Can we accommodate? Where we can help this lady? Like fairies out. Have you seen anything that you could perhaps rent that we could help you with? I know you said you didn't want money. I know that's not what this is about. But would you know a donation of money help to rent somewhere?
It's got long term though, won't it?
We have Nova. I don't know if people have heard of Nova.
Yeah.
It's a charity within themselves, and they've been trying to apply for funding for us to try and rent somewhere. We've seen a couple of premises, but they haven't been suitable. Mainly because there's been 2 floors up, and if you can imagine a young family coming with 2 kids that they've got to hold their hands and carry 3 or 4 heavy bags of clothes and whatever else they've asked for, it's really difficult. Because at the moment, the key was taken off us. They used to be able to drive in, pick the things up, put it in the car, and then go out. But because one of the planters got damaged, whether that was the reason or not, the key was taken away from us when they did the new AstroTurf pitch. So now to get to us, because there's double yellow lines on our side of the road, they've got to back across the other side of the main road and take the life in their hands. Twice I've had the bags dragged out of my hand when I've been putting deliveries into the back of my car. You know, I've had the black bag in this hand and the car's got that close to me, even though I've been parked half on the back. I've had to let go of the bag or else I'd have been under the car. Now, if you can imagine a disabled person or a young person with 2 kids in tow trying to get across that road, it's a nightmare. Yes, there's a car park at the far end of the park where they can park, but then you've got the same problem. It's quite a distance from where the pavilion is down to that car park, you know, for people to drop off and things like that. So that's not easy either.
I mean, again, is there anywhere, you know, that you're looking at, that you could look at?
Water park would be ideal. Is there anything at water park?
Can just,
Have you
can
ever,
you,
have you ever tried?
can we just go through chair, please?
I'm sorry.
Shane?
Hasn't the council got a piece of land that we can put a container or a big office type thing there?
Can't hear you.
Can you shout up?
Let me just finish what, Councillor Platt is.
You have to sing. When no one else can. No. Hasn't the council got a piece of land where they can put a container or like one of those big office things, something like that?
Yeah,
Or
down
it's
at
having
water
type
park, right down there, you've got parking.
Where's the land?
There's already a container there.
What that can be used? Sorry, what's your name?
Jill, I don't know.
Oh, right. I thought you were being serious.
I
No,
don't think there is.
obviously not.
Shane, what about the garages in front of the allotments on Cemetery Road?
Somebody just mentioned the garages at the front of allotments.
Where Keepmoat have got all their containers now.
Yeah, good idea. What
What's
can we
happened to
look
that?
into that? And obviously, I don't know about the
That's what
electric.
Maxine mentioned, water.
Yes, sir.
I've been led to believe that there's a bungalow at Fitzwilliam Centre. Used to be for the caretaker or something that's empty and not being used. Is that true, or have I been misled?
That's Wakefield Council, I think you're talking about there.
Is it Wakefield?
The one next to this, Fitzwilliam Centre.
I've been led to
I
believe
think
there's one there.
that's Wakefield Council, it's not.
Is it?
It's not.
Okay.
Stanley, do you want to say something?
Because there's no room back in the car parking.
Have you ever tried playing?
YMCA down there.
Just across Main Road again.
It's used by others though, isn't it?
Oh, they've stopped now.
Yeah, they're trying to
So-
get on in on
I'm saying it used to be operated by it's no longer used, it's not been used for 8 to 9 months since pandemic.
Can we make that contact, Alan, for this lady, and also regarding the garages as well? Because if they're not being used, that can be utilised. I think there's a bit of work that need doing, but still, it have space and everything. So, yeah.
As long as there's enough room for people to park, to go to see her and
Yeah,
everything.
are you happy with that? Are you happy with that?
Well,
Make it easy.
I'm happy with any
Yeah, you will
help.
be, yeah.
But wherever we'd go, I'd like it to be our forever home, if you like, because it's taken us so long to get our feelers out to everybody that needs us, all the social workers, all the care workers, all the rehabilitation centres, the women's refuges, Cashwise, the list goes on. It'd be a nightmare trying to get in touch with them all again to say that, oh, we're moving again, or we're moving again. You know, that would be a nightmare.
I can't guarantee anything, obviously, it comes to
yeah.
council.
Yeah.
But what Lynn's just suggested, obviously the garages and then the YLCAs. YLCA.
Somebody just says that they're thinking of building an underground thing or somebody, or they said somebody's building an underground on there.
Looking for development, aren't they, on YMCA?
Oh, I don't know.
It's not unusual.
Can we get back to, I know it's in,
Yeah.
can we ASAP?
And somebody suggested Watersons at some stage, but I don't know if that's...
Watersons. Maxine, was that you? Old Watson shop.
What's that? Yeah, that Waterson's, it's empty, hasn't it been empty now, it's just going to demolish.
Yeah, who does it belong to?
I've got phone numbers and stuff, so I'm gonna phone up, so it should have been, but it's been empty.
I'm gonna phone up and find out, because it's been empty for years, right?
That one at Scum.
And if
What, the shop's been empty? I don't think.
Yeah, it's that where they used to start the school clothes from, Waterson's.
On police station.
Yeah. but I mean, it's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yeah, but if it is a lot of work, but if it's going to be a permanent residence for them, they're good.
Privately owned.
Yeah, that's not a
I
problem,
think
we've
you
got to
should
find
say
out who
it,
owns
as
it.
far as I know.
Privately owned anyway, so
Yeah.
that can hold anyway. Not
Can we look
sure.
at
But
that?
I'm open to
Yeah.
suggestions,
Alan's
because
got that down, and
yeah.
we're gonna see what we can do, and obviously be in contact with you.
Thank you.
All
Can't
right.
we fit you in here for a while?
Why not?
I did suggest that as well.
Eh?
I did suggest that as well. Dan,
Yeah, there's plenty of room here.
I think Alan's just said they're in any room.
There isn't any room.
We have to, well, at different points, every room's booked at different points. Like this room's regularly booked, so
Yeah.
this council chamber gets
But
booked.
when I spoke to you, you said something about foot clinic.
That gets booked out now.
That foot clinic one
Yeah, but it's
stopped.
booked out quite a lot
The
now.
local school books the clinic, well, what was the clinic now, so.
Well, what book's here?
Well, on this room,
Yeah.
well, on a Wednesday you've got Weight Watchers, there's other days booked as well. There's different slots where you could book stuff, but in terms of putting stuff here permanently.
Can't be permanent, can it? That's the problem.
Well, look for something for you and look for something that you can have permanent. That's what you need, isn't it?
Right, so, can we
Rent
move on,
free.
can we move on to item D? A request from Hemsworth Town FC. Have we got someone here from, football? Hemsworth Town? Anybody? Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, this is a request from Hemsworth Town FC regarding possible use of Centre Road and or Sandygate. I would remind the committee that a similar informal request has been received by the Terriers, and really the two should be dealt with in conjunction in the coming months. So I would recommend tonight that the matter be deferred until the next couple of months, but it's up to the committee.
What the committee think?
Yes. This woman just tell you, just to explain their situation.
Well, if we've got somebody from Hemsworth Terriers and they want to explain, then, yeah.
He's up there somewhere, because I've seen him. Go on there.
Well, there's no for me to explain because it's not me who's requested anything. We've come to see what Hemsworth Town have requested. Currently, we use Cemetery playing field. We have done since day one. As far as we're concerned, Hemsworth Town use Highfield Road. I believe they've just found out about the development up there and they've got issues up there with whether they're still going to be able to have the lease on it. So it just seems to us like they're now looking to get onto our pitch because they're having issues up there. So we've come to find out what they're requesting because the facilities we use them all to capacity. We can only be as big as we are because we've got those facilities. So if somebody comes in and starts demanding they want half of them or whatever, then it puts us in a situation where we've got nowhere for our teams to play. So that's what we've come for, is to see what Hemsworth Town were requesting.
Oh, don't worry, because we can't kick you out, because you've been there a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've still got an obligation to help all the group.
Oh, yeah, but can't kick him out.
Shouldn't the developer be responsible for finding a suitable pitch if we're losing the green playing area, like happened with this council?
Yeah.
So I think they should apply to Wakefield to see what alternative grounds they're going to provide them for the loss of the amenities that they've already got.
According to information that we've received over the last 2 weeks, the LDF for Highfields has been extended and changed from the original, well, I think it was for 80 dwellings. It's now been altered, I think, to 160, which includes taking that football field. But what they have proposed is the same, that Highfields is not used for 11-a-sides, but it is used for 11-a-sides. And what they said, they'd make smaller junior pitches further back. The land's further back on Highfields, I do believe it's owned and rented out by Wakefield Council to Moxon. So you're right, Ray, if a planning application goes in for that site, Sports England would put an objection in straight away for loss of sports facility and greenbelt, and they would have to provide equivalent or better. So I think that's the thing, you know, I think for now they're safe, but if it does progress, and the town council needs to be mindful to keep an eye on it and support that we get equivalent or better if they've got any chance of losing it.
You know, with Sandygate and Cemetery Road, is that just solely then for Hemsworth Terriers?
No.
So it is a community football pitch, so anybody should like to book it and use it.
Anybody can book the AstroTurf.
Right.
But they've got 44, 45 teams now. With the
Oh,
girls'
Hemsworth
team.
Terriers?
Yes.
So
And
what you're saying is they'll preference over
yeah.
anybody else, another team who wants to
Well,
use it?
they've had it for the last 10 years, 12 years.
Things change, oh Jimmy, there's people coming here and asking for donations and everything else. Surely another football team should be able to at least work round them or weird.
I think what it is Hemsworth, like, our older used to play for Hemsworth Town, and they used to play at high school. Hemsworth Terriers always had cemetery, and
They want Sandygate and all that.
Yeah,
no, I'm just looking at a point where the community can share things. You're going to divide a community. We say, no, they stop up on Highfield.
That's it, there's 3 pictures.
Can we just get one speaking, please, because I can't hear
There's 3 pictures, there's an adult pitch, a kids pitch, and a middle pitch.
What you've got, John, over the last 7 or 8 years, you've got under 7s, under 8s, 10s, 12, 14, 16s and open age ladies teams now, as well as kids coming through, 7-a-side pitches, 9-a-side pitches, as well as Sandygate and Cemetery Road. Hemsworth Terriers do use Hemsworth High School. The problem with Hemsworth High School is it used to be rented out by Wakefield Council. The Wakefield Council have a legal obligation to provide green spaces and football pitches for this community. When they lost it to Outwood fleecing these £70 a match or sometimes £100, am I right? It's ridiculous the fees that they're having to pay. And if they have a game on one at Pictures, say on Cemetery Road at 10 o'clock in the morning, there's another one at 12 o'clock and then there's one at 3 o'clock. So they're over subscribed now on the 5 pitches that we've got for 40 odd teams. It's, you know, it is hard work. What we could do really is getting 7 pictures on Ollie Bank back for them.
Why don't you put seven pictures on that field at back of us on instead of
absolutely ideal, that.
You know what I mean?
Brilliant.
Why not use summer for community instead of building houses? You've gone on about Highfield Road there and taking that football thing, but you never said you're going to fake their corner. It's all down to Wakefield. We need somebody from ends of council, town council, to fake this corner, and we aren't getting it, Jimmy. Off anybody.
We've said that we would fight your corner.
But it hasn't been. No, it's been fought. So.
And obviously we'll fight Highfield Road's corner.
Well, I'll be fighting that a little bit better.
There's a planning issue at Common End, which obviously members will look at and will support them. John, nobody wants any development in between Vale and Park.
It's not just Vale and Park though, Jimmy. It's up in Highfield. We don't want that up in Highfield. We don't want it on Sawley's complex. We haven't got enough infrastructure to take anything.
You're right.
Never mind that. We've got next door, we're going to have Alfred Superstore. You know what I mean? And if rumours are going round, we're Screwfix, a Subway, a McDonald's. How far do we go? Gordon wants to build 36 houses. It just keeps going on.
Keep telling me Gordon wants to build 36 houses. I thought Gordon had known.
Apparently
and that's just rubbish.
It's in planning.
That's what rumour is.
Well, it's exactly
never
that.
listen to rumours.
That's all I can say. It's a rumour.
John,
I'm not
that's
saying
exactly
that it keeps
rumours.
coming back.
I would have thought you would have seen that.
I would have. Listen. The thing is, we cannot keep having housing developments in area. It's not big enough. Until somebody's going to grow up and stand up there and fight for us, which we were promised, then where are we? You're saying Highfield Place, we'll keep an eye on it. But Mr. Draper never even read his emails, so how are we going to keep an eye on it if nobody's checking on it?
Right, so from that request then, we're just going to defer it away, and obviously we're going to have to come back.
Can I just say something? Can I just
Well,
say
of
something?
course.
What about Fitzwilliam land? You've got all that land, why don't you do it into something for community? Also, Fitzwilliam's not good enough, even though it's part of the same place. Yes, he just said that, that's what it
Right, can we just have one speaking, then everybody can hear?
Fitzwilliam can have all these houses built on it, but Emsworth can't.
Well, I think there's enough developments in Emsworth going on as well.
There's enough developments in Fitzwilliam as well. That's what she just said. That's what they just said.
They've just said that.
6 months ago, Maxine, you sat in this room with Weatherall Sandersons and voted to
And
spend
I've said
£10,000.
from day one, it should be for some community for
Can I just
Fitzwilliam,
finish
not
and then you
for
can have
Emsworth.
mine?
It's
6
Fitzwilliam's
months
land.
ago, you sat in
It's
this room
Fitzwilliam's
and voted
land,
for
not
Sanderson Weatherall to do evaluation and to market it.
And I've said from day one.
Well, why did you vote for it then? Now you're changing your mind. It's already cost us 10 grand.
Well,
Well, this is where they say he's trying to make out.
Can we just have one meeting, and
No.
can we just keep it calm, please?
no, can it start
I
being
said from
honest?
day one that should be Fitzwilliam's land.
Let's
But
just
you-
keep it calm.
You've lied to us because it's spreading even with it's here in black and white. You're even taking John Cannon allotments.
They better not be.
I'm not taking notes.
It's all in planning. It's all in planning.
Yeah. An allotment that he's had for donkey's years.
It's all in planning. It's there in black and white.
This gentleman wants to speak.
You can't build under them power cables, Steve.
No.
Can't build on what about power cables? I know.
Yes, sir.
Not going nowhere near power cables.
Yeah.
It's not going nowhere near.
They're not going near them, Jen.
Can we just have a bit of order, please?
I know where it is. And his dad had it before. His dad had it.
Councillor Westmoreland, we've got public wanting to speak.
Thank you.
I'm very sorry. Sorry about that, love.
All right, don't worry. I'm actually here as a member of the public, not in my other cap, which happens to be Emsworth Miners Welfare. We have undertaken a lot of work down there, which will be unbeknown to a lot of people, and indeed, this learned gentleman in front of me has a lot more history in the place than I do. But previously, we've had, or been fortunate to have one senior pitch and two junior pitches alongside, and we've maximised those three to accommodate all the teams that Emsworth Miners Welfare and its teams have needed in the past. We're now in a situation where we have just installed a 3G installation pitch. UEFA, which is the senior league there is, actually has certified and approved it, and I think we've probably got some availability down there if either of the teams or anybody wants to come down and talk. Now, I can't offer myself to say that we can or we can't, which is not my decision. I'm only one member, and indeed we're not actually regulated by this council or even Wakefield Council, but we do lease it from them. I have previously applied to see whether or not we could get the allotment side for rugby league development, which was turned down at the time. But all that should really be open to negotiation now, and all I'm saying is that if the people who are involved want to come and see us, we're quite happy to talk. I can't make any promises, but if we can do anything, then we will gladly do so, and please call down and see us. And anybody else who wants to come down and see what we've been doing, please come down.
Thank you for that. So we're on item A, administration office, double screens, to consider having double screens at the workstations in the administration office. Alan?
Yeah, this would cost £350 per chair. I recommend approval. Most councils do have this, but neighbours have to look at 2 screens.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I understand why they're not very hard, because it's so easy.
Yeah, I think this is going to
Modern
be
day, front page, all of it.
yeah, I think it's needed. I've just recommended it. Are we all in favour? That's carried then. Item 9, notice boards, to consider procurement of notice boards in the parish. I think it was mentioned about the notice boards, but we have one in community centre, I think, do we have one up at Fitzwilliam
No.
Centre?
You've
We have
tried.
one at
It's
the
never happened.
park. So where is the board needed? Whoever who put this on the agenda?
With my what? What for?
What about
Yeah.
Fitzwilliam Centre?
There's centre. There's plenty of land. There's
So what do
plenty of
members
land.
suggest then?
You want one putting up in Fitzwilliam and one in Finchley. What's wrong with that?
Could
We're
you
not
a-
saying there's no wrong with that, we're asking the councillors. Lynn?
Could you ask Wakefield for permission to put one in the precinct, one in Vicky Park, one, say, up by West End Community in the West End Park? It's Wakefield land, but if they give you permission, all those are places where there's massive thoroughfare. I can't speak for Fitzwilliam or Kinsley because I don't know what land belongs to who down there. I only know about Hemsworth because of the Keep It Clean stuff. But if you ask Wakefield for permission, there are lots of sites where a notice board, this is one of my passions, a notice board, as many places where there's heavy traffic as possible, because there are a lot of people out there who don't.
Water park.
Well, we have a mid-water park inside the, yeah, good point, and I think if we can approach Wakefield and see what's available, where we can put some notices up, but we've got to be mindful that if it's going to be glass, whatever it's going to be, because obviously they're open to vandals. I mean, look what they've done up at railway station. I haven't been up for a bit, so I'm not speaking about now, but I'm speaking before with graffiti and obviously we noticed boards what they were doing, but that is some time ago. Like I say, I don't know now. Lady in the back.
Could you not ask,
I can't hear you, can you?
Could you not ask Wakefield Council for, there's a lovely one in what Tim's pointed out, just as you're going into Fairleigh Park. Now, I know Fairleigh comes in Wakefield, but at the moment it's empty. So if it was like things for the community, could you ask like Wakefield?
Well, I've just said to Alan to contact Wakefield Council, see what's available, mention that one as well.
It hasn't been in that long, Jean, to be honest.
Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks, Lynn, for that.
Can we have one in Fitzwilliam so everybody in Fitzwilliam knows what's going on in Hemsworth?
They don't know where Fitzwilliam is.
Alan, can you make a note of that? I'll look at the community centre at Fitzwilliam.
You want a map? I'll get to Fitzwilliam.
Yeah.
I sent Wakefield Council a map.
So we'll move on to item 10, seasonals rate of pay. To consider increasing the standard rate of pay for all seasonals, irrespective of age, to the upper level of the statutory minimum wage. Councillors?
This one, I sort of, when I noticed the adverts for the jobs, I was just appalled that we're paying people £4 on an hour, no matter what the age.
Personally, I don't care what the minimum wage is for anybody. I think the minimum wage needs rising, and I also want to look at that for all staff, but in another meeting. But for me, generally, if a person is working, they are working at that rate of pay. Generally, if you're 16, 19, 21, 41, I don't care, you should be getting paid the same. For the same job, you should be the same rate of pay. Yes, I know that the government, the UK government, have a minimum wage and a structure. We don't have to follow that. We can do our own thing. We can. Another thing, we keep hearing that we're losing staff because they're going to Wakefield for more money, or this sort of stuff. Well, let's start paying a bit of money. I know it's going to cost the community, it's going to cost us. I think Alan's got the figures. Have you got that?
I think he circulated some figures for us of what extra it would cost. Do you want to just mention that? I know you. Yeah.
So 20 grand extra a year to, I mean, none of that, the current crisis regarding fuel bills and petrol and gas and lecky, I just think we should be paying everybody the same rate.
What do councillors think? Are we all in agreement with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Is it, are we all in agreement?
Can I just, so somebody that's worked for council for 5 years now, it's on £10.50 an hour.
So someone that's worked for the council for 5 or 10 years, that's on £10.50 an hour, somebody that's just starting is going to put on the same rate.
No, you put them on a training rate, so then you put it up.
Yeah, you put them on a training rate, you don't put them on £4.50.
Yeah, so seasonal come into a seasonal rate on that scale. They'll not go up to top level straight away.
No, obviously.
So how does it work then?
On a training rate first.
That's full
Can I
timers.
explain it, Donna?
Can I have a sec?
Yeah.
What's happened here, all the staff, what were qualified and what have you, have left. Now you've got young lads, there's one with a licence outside.
You're wrong. Can't mention stuff.
I'm not gonna go too far yet.
Can mention individual staff, Councillor Addicker.
You've
Just to
made a right
confirm,
call.
my understanding is that members want to apply the upper limit of the minimum wage to all staff, irrespective of their age. That's what I've done my calculations on, not on training rates or things like that. We're talking about seasonal. If I've misunderstood, please let me know now.
My suggestion was, we just pay everybody the same rate. If you are stood at the side of somebody in a beach shop, your training must be reasonably not long. Generally, your 18-year-old has probably more graft than your 50-year-old because he's younger, he's fitter, or she's younger, she's fitter. It should just be the same wage, in my opinion.
Yeah.
No, but, Peter,
What happened was, the staff left because they had enough. And I will prove this. I will prove it. Now, you're coming up to summer, God help us. Because you haven't got trained staff. You're on about service and speedboat. Have you got somebody qualified for it?
yes.
I bet you.
We've got 3, is it, Alan?
Well, Rob,
Yeah, 3 or 4 we've got for that, Peter.
All qualified and
we'll see.
Proper qualified.
I resign.
Can you?
I resign
Just a minute,
as chairman
Peter.
of legislature.
Peter, just a minute. Can you just
We had a speedboat training a couple of weeks ago,
proper qualifications? How many did it and how many passed?
Even a couple of weeks ago, and there were about 3 or 4, but everyone available went on the training. Like 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
I resigned as chairman of leisure for this reason. What was happening with staff, and it's come back on your big style.
yeah.
And I'll tell you what now, it'll all come out of it. What's that?
Right, we're going to finish there because it's not on the agenda, Peter. I think that's for another meeting. And if it's going to be, talking about stuff we won't have that.
Can I just say one thing when you were on about minimum wage? Like, when I start for the company, everybody starts on a temp contract where you are on a lower pay. You might only be on £1.50p a pound less. But you are until you get your full contract, until you pass your training. Then you go to that full pay. Then you
we do have
We already do that.
Yeah, we do have that in place.
So that's what we say with training pay.
Yeah, we're not talking about permanent staff. It's temporary staff that haven't got contracts. I think, Sean, you mentioned you want to propose that? Have we got a seconder? Can we have a show of hands for them to get the same pay?
I propose pay all seasonals the same rate of pay.
We've got a second, so we've got a proposal and a seconder. Are we all in favour? Are we all in favour?
You've got a seasonal that's on £10 an hour for the driver. It's only 15 to 16 minutes. Put your car park in.
It's also, some are and some aren't there? I mean, we've gone with a proposal and a seconder, so we need to vote.
I think it, I think it's disgusting, £4.71.
Oh, it's fine on, yeah.
Yeah, it's shocking that. Kids have got cars to run. Get paid more every day.
Alex is on about 5, isn't she? She works like a dog. She said when she's 18 she works.
Yeah, that's carried then. Item 11, Sandygate Football Facility, to consider the following. A, work needed for FA recertification of the 3G pitch.
Sorry.
No, it's all right, you don't have to apologise, this is a break.
Yeah, so we've got work needed for 3G pitch, Alan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members may recall a few weeks ago, the committee authorised to have the 3G pitch assessed by an FA approved body. Unfortunately, the 3G pitch has not met the certification standard, so there's two things to bear in mind. Well, a few things actually. First of all, it is still safe to use for regular play, but you can't play FA sanctioned matches on it at the moment. The council now has 3 months in which to get it back up to FA standard. And then the other thing is more long term, it may, well, probably will need to be resurfaced completely, because having spoken to a few companies past couple of weeks, so by the way, the lowest quote for the repair work is 7,500. But longer term, I'm told that these pitches last 10 to 12 years anyway, and the pitch is 12 years old. So for another day, probably later this year, the council went to look at resurfacing the whole thing itself, but the immediate issue is we've got 3 months to get the recertification work done.
How much is it? 7,500, so it's 7,500.
How much would it to be researched, G?
I think we're under 89.
You're looking near on 90,000.
90,000 to resurface it altogether.
So what do members think?
I think it needs
How many hours? But the thing is, it needs to be done. Yeah, so it needs to be done. It only lasts 12 months.
If it's got to be done in 12 months, then wouldn't it be feasible just to have it recovered? Rather than spend £7 grand now and then in 12 months the 70 grand. You're losing.
You couldn't play FA matches on it then.
We don't play matches on it anyway, we're not allowed.
Terry is saying we don't play them on it, so.
How many FA matches is played on that pitch anyway?
I don't know.
None.
So, if they're only using it for training, why does it have to be FA certified?
Yeah, good question.
Can we put that to them, Alan, and can we come back with this one?
This gentleman might know.
Yeah, Billy'll know. He'll know, yeah.
Excuse me again, but Billy doesn't know. Billy has information that's affected the club that we've done it at. And the gentleman's quite right that the recommendation from UEFA, sorry if I lose you here, but UEFA is the European body, Football Association, what deals with our leagues. And then you've got your own league that you play in. And in this country, all leagues are sanctioned by the Football Association in one way, shape or form, down to the level at which you play. So for us down at Fitzwilliam, we are at level 5. Our pitch installation cost us £600,000 from start to finish. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, your pitch has got some works that's been underneath, some civil works, and depending on what that is, will depend on what you can put on the top. And they have to be renewed between 10 and 12 years. Now, if you do not bring your pitch up to standard, then you've got to consider things like public liability, insurance for individual players, etc. So if you're going to play matches on that pitch, then in effect you've got to bring it up to the standard of which the level is for the season that you want to play. And that season begins or ends in the end of June. So you've got to be ready by the end of June to let your facility be used at the level, the football level, for the following season. So the options you do have, obviously, is to repair and continue and then do a feasibility study, which I think is what you'd find you have to do, or secondly, just say, well, we'll try and renew it all. But please take the advice of UEFA or the Football Association first, because what you'll be told by the contractors isn't necessarily what you're going to be told by the FA or UEFA as well. We've been caught a little bit down at Fitzwilliam because of pitch dimensions, and it's causing hassle at the moment, but we've worked a solution out. You might be in the same problem, but you don't have an option of leaving it alone because people can't play on it, and then you've got to decide how you want to do it, either the whole lot, and get a proper feasibility done, or just do patchwork, or whatever it may be, to enable you to carry on.
Thank you for that. So, I think...
Do you get any funding?
No, but besides
funding,
that
you get a
it's
contingency,
not like what
contingency
you're saying,
fund,
but you're
no?
big, you know what I mean, you've got a
Besides
really big.
Just a minute, love, I'll challenge you.
Oh,
No, you do what?
Can you just come through, Chair,
I was just gonna say that.
sure, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, just saying, with what he's just said, I agree. Like, obviously, we've only got quite a small pitch up at Sandygate, up 3G. Theirs is really big. It's huge. You can play adult. Yeah, it's full size. You can play adult games on it and whatever. I've never played yet on a game on there. I've trained with my son on there, but so yeah, maybe just do it for training facilities, but not for games. Because is it worth it? Probably not. Because games aren't played on it. I've never played a game on it yet. It's so maybe just do it up to standard where kids can and it's safely done.
Yeah, thanks for that. I mean, I think it is repair work, isn't it, that we need to be...
Because it's not a big pitch, it's, like you say, it's not full size.
Yes.
What we're on about with Emsworth Town, when they haven't got no pitches, they play a lot of games on that. Emsworth Terriers don't, but Emsworth Town do. So if you don't get that, they've got less places to play.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So it needs to be looked into with Emsworth and West End what's played on it really then.
I think we're coming to a conclusion, if I'm right, that we're going to just go for repair.
Yeah.
If you go for repair over 12 years, it's less than £8,000 a year, isn't it? To redo it all, it's less than £8,000 a year.
Well, there any money in grant for it? Usually when you get a grant like that, there's repair money put aside for it.
There's somebody talking to chair there.
When you got the grant for the development, you usually put a contingency plan in, and it's funding for repairs and that. You don't get one now.
We've got reserves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you got the grant for, you know, when they open the building, they should have given you some repair funding. Well, I don't know. You might have spent it.
Well, actually, it's the next item, so we'll continue that on the next item. I've just been informed that. So we'll move to the report on the facility dating back several years from Steve Wells Associates, the council chairman to report accordingly.
As you came in this report on the table regarding Steve Wells Associates, this report was commissioned by the Town Council in October 2009, 18 months before a contract was signed to get this work done. And if you look at the dimensions on the STP, it should have been 60 by 40, 3 metre runoffs on either end, and 6 metres on the behind the goals. It didn't conform to that. It was built dead 60-40, and then they didn't know whether to put a rebound fence up or incorporate the runoffs within the pitch. The runoffs at either end behind the goals are only 3 metres, they should be 6, and then we lost space down the flanks. That's why it doesn't conform to FA standards. And when that one commissioned and done, the FA, I think it was Lotteries and Sports England stated that they wouldn't give Emsworth Town Council any funding towards this because it didn't meet standards.
Have you got reports for that?
Yes, they're here.
All of
And
them?
it's 840 metres short of what it should have been, that field. And basically, the surveyor stated to Emsworth Town Council, the developer at that time, it would be a massive job now to try and extend it because the floodlights were in place. And there weren't even a mowing strip put down. So, you know, on this particular thing, I think what we should do, we should go with the repair, keep it safe, and like Mr. Rowett says, make sure that it's safe and we insure it for kids or adults that play on it for now, Jean.
Yeah, are we all in favour of that? For a repair, just to keep the kids safe? Yeah. Everybody, yeah. Right, so that,
Gene, there's another thing. There's only 7 years left on the lease, so you could be spending that money.
just a minute.
Gene, I believe there's only 7 years left on the lease, so potentially you could be spending money, and then in 7 years' time, the owner, because the building everywhere, could foreclose.
Colin?
We have asked for a lease extension, but we asked if we could purchase it, and they refused us.
So we've asked for an extension and,
We've asked if we could purchase it, and
and,
they refused it.
I mean, obviously, Jim knows more
What,
about
what
this
the
than I do.
review, extension or to
They've
purchase
refused,
it?
they've refused the extension to lease, and they refused to sell it to us. So basically, we're stuck with an £500,000 project up there, which were equivalent or better to what we lost at Kirby Road, with 7 years lease left on it. I don't think there's anybody in this room would have spent £500,000 on a project with 7 years lease left on it.
It was.
I thought that facility was built under a turnkey agreement for this place and Sandygate.
But we don't own that land, it belongs to Archbishop.
But surely that should have been looked into as a long-term investment.
It should have done, but it weren't right.
Are we talking 12 years ago? So we're talking a 20-year lease?
And you've got to say
20-year lease.
Right.
What's talking
Jimmy
in it?
was not on the council then, so we can't blame Jimmy for it.
No, don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming nobody.
You
I'm
know
just
what I mean?
saying it makes sense if you're spending that type amount of
It
money,
does, yeah.
that you get it tied up.
But don't forget, this was a Labour council.
Oh, here we go again. Hey!
But this is
I'm only
independent
telling
council.
truth.
What's
Yeah.
Council at the end.
Right, can we just come to order?
It's independent council that's
So are we
50
talking
years.
this 12 years ago? When this, what? So we're talking 20-year lease.
Can I just pass one further comment that might be relevant to you, Mark, to consider? 8 years lease won't be sufficient for potential funders to actually help with financing a new pitch. So look, 25 years. So if you're going to be serious about putting full-size facilities in there, then seriously you need to extend that facility. You may have enough capital on your own to do that, I don't know. But all I'm saying is the funders themselves, and particularly the FA, are adamant that they want security. And if you don't own the land, it's got to be a long-term lease, which probably in their terms is 25 years. So just bear that in mind as well at the same time.
Yes.
In light of what you've just said, it's only 7 years. Have the council got another plan? Because to me it seems though that developer will keep that land. So you need to have another plan to set up, because they're going to lose all them facilities.
Yeah, what's the indication there for 7 years' time? What's the land?
They refused to sell the land to us, but they've just, a few weeks ago, they conducted a rent review. So we're okay for the time being. I can't speak for Archbishop Aldgate, but I would assume their objectives are to sell land for development. I would assume they're, community oriented, but I can't guarantee that.
Have we got a plan? Can we start a plan now? Because it'll take a long time to sort things out. 7 years is nothing when it comes to if you're going to buy land or whatever, or set all your facilities up.
Council works on with that to write through again to see if they'll extend that lease.
They're not going to do that, you know that, and I know that.
We don't know that because we've got
We've got land in Fitzwilliam, what we're going to build on.
Can we just have one, Maxine, can we just,
I'm talking to the gentleman, so no.
if you go through chair, you're quite
I'm not going
entitled
through, I'm
to.
talking to gentlemen, not you.
We're in a meeting.
I'm talking to gentlemen, not you.
No respect at all.
No.
Right,
Well, I am.
right, so we're going to end the meeting. We're going to move on to the next meeting. meeting, notice of policy and planning. Yeah, if anybody wants to.
Does anybody want to go to the Lulu? You've got 5 minutes. So
Sorry, I've got to go in a minute, and it's nothing to do with the council, but I've had a last-minute donation of Easter eggs, would you believe, from a large company. If anybody knows any families that can't afford to buy kids Easter eggs, can they get in touch with me, please? And I'll make sure they get some.
Well, I do know that Ellen Richardson were asking.
I've asked Helen,
Oh,
she's got enough now, yeah. Yeah, so if you know of any families where they're struggling, yeah, don't give them my name because they'll all be at my house. All right, thank you, but I must go now because the neighbour's not well.
Okay, thank you.
Take care, we'll do our best to get you somewhere to. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do our best. Yeah, you'll just take care.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Definitely must be some road somewhere.
Is that it?
That's the first meeting over. A couple of minutes.
We've got another
Couple of
meeting now,
minutes and
so
then-
we don't have to go yet.
There's a break, isn't there now?
Yeah, everybody's just having a comfort break
We're
and then
in the
we're
two,
going
aren't we?
into the policy and planning meeting next.
Another 2 meetings, haven't we?
Yeah, you've got an extraordinary afterwards, haven't you?
You what, love?
You've got an extraordinary after the policy and planning. Yeah.
Yeah? We've got 2 meetings.
So that's the one that's coming next.
Yeah, ah. Oh, because I don't look behind it.
Yeah, so we've done finance. Next one's policy and planning.
Ah, this is the one.
Then there'll be an exclusion at the end of policy and planning, and then there'll be an extraordinary meeting after that. It's going to be a long night.
You know who this Derek is, Beth? We've had a couple of names, but, you know.
If you're going rabbit in that.
Can I borrow it, please?
Yeah, of course you can.
All right. How much are you going to charge me?
Free to you. But it bites.
Hey?
It bites.
Oh, dear me. You get worse, don't you, with me?
Scott, can you see if they're ready? Because we have got we've another 2 meetings, so this one and.
I don't think you'll get us through it after all that.
This is the extra.
Be careful, I'll hit you, Ian.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're all ready. Notice of a policy and planning committee meeting. We're going to move straight to item 1, apologies for absence. All present. Item number 2, declarations of interest. Councillors should disclose pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest in any items on this agenda. Any other? Item 3, public question time. To receive questions pertaining to the committee's remit for members of the public. Yes, sir.
I'd just like to inquire if there's been a spelling mistake or a syntax error in item 8. Says the town clerk to confirm that the council's respective planning applications have been submitted. Should not we be saying retrospective planning permission? Aren't these two things already been done?
Yeah, it should be retrospective.
It's not respective, it's retrospective.
Yeah, one of them is, yeah.
It's misleading, isn't it?
Well, obviously we don't write the agendas, so we'll make sure that it doesn't happen again. That's all I can say to that one. Item 4, minutes. To receive and approve the minutes of the meeting held on 10th of March 2022. Can we have a mover? Yeah. Item number 5, WMDC Community Governance Review Consultation. To consider the initial recommendations from WMC after the first consultation stage. Alan?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. The report's been circulated and it is available on Wakefield's website, but just I'll quickly run through the recommendations from Wakefield Council regarding the parish of Hemsworth. There are 5 of them. Number 1, that the number of councillors be increased to 16 to achieve a closer parity of representation. 2, there be changes to the southern boundary of the parish to take into account the Hemsworth bypass and the mainline railway line, with consequential amendments needed to the parish of North Hemsall, the parish of Upton, and to the parish of South Kirby Moorthorpe. Point 3, there be changes to the wards to reduce the number to 4 and the reallocation of members to wards to achieve a more even ratio of councillors to electors. Point 4, the current wards of Fitzwilliam and Kinsley wards be merged to form one ward called Fitzwilliam and Kinsley, with the remaining ward boundaries being unchanged. East Ward would have 5 councillors, Fitzwilliam and Kinsley Ward would have 5 councillors, South Ward would have 4 councillors, and the West Ward would have 2 councillors. And then the last point is that the new wards would give a ratio of 1 member for every 646, 655, 697 and 668 electors in each ward respectively.
Thank you, Alan.
Can you go through that again, please, Alan?
It's been circulated.
Has it moved up?
So does that mean that Nottingham is coming in with us and we're getting rid of Walton and posh areas? We're going to just be like Nottingham.
Right, so we're moving on to item 7, Wakefield District Swift Group. I think this is,
Like it, doesn't it?
oh, sorry, item 6, WMDC Local Plan 2036, 3 main modifications consultations to consider 3 main modifications consultants in respect of WMDC's Local Plan 2036. Does anybody want to comment on Highfield Road?
When the statement of information going out,
Do they know what that is?
when statement of information going out to all the parishioners.
I can do something this week about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Next week.
Did you hear what Maxine said?
Yeah, I can do a price of it all, yeah. The next week.
Yeah. Item 7, Wakefield District Swift Group, to consider possible assistance to the Wakefield District Swift Group to help stabilise and increase local Swift populations.
I think the water part should have some of these boxes on, and I think we could put some up here.
Can't hear what she's saying.
Sorry. What?
Wait, don't you get some microphone?
I think water park should have these Swift boxes on, and I think we could have them in community centres as well. Because they are important, we are losing Swifts, and we used to have loads around here, we haven't got none anymore.
I can't see a problem with that. I'm sure it won't take a lot to do that, to accommodate them.
Wakefield will allow us to.
Yeah, are we all in agreement with that?
Yeah, as soon as possible though.
Item number 8, planning applications, HTC. The town clerk to confirm that the council's respective planning applications have been submitted to Wakefield as follows. So you've got your reference numbers, compound in Emsworth Water Park, storage unit, and land to rear of schoolhouse, First Avenue, Fitzwilliam.
And as well, Madam Chair, the information came in this week about the development of Kirby Road. We were notified this week about the residential development of Kirby Road. There's an application in now if members want to comment on it, feel free to do so.
Can we just finish that other one you were on about? About Fitzwilliam? Was that it? Finish?
Just an application that's gone in now.
It's a resurfacing of land and hardcore.
What's that planning for? Container at Water Park?
It's that car park we
Was
asked
that
them
retro?
to do.
We've built it already, haven't we?
Well, it's a school. Oh, yeah.
Right, so we're going to move on then. We haven't got any on Kirby Road. So we'll go to item 9. Kirby Road Sports Complex and Emsworth Community Centre outcome conclusions. The council chairman to report accordingly.
Yes, this relates to the completion sale of Kirby Road.
This relates to the completion sale of Kirby Road Complex to Sol Construction that were completed on 22nd December 2021. Emsworth Town Council issued a notice to complete to Sol Construction Limited in December 2019. Emsworth Town Council did not get a reply to that notice to complete, so Emsworth Town Council issued another notice to complete in April 2020. We didn't get a reply to that, and Sol Construction then, to complete the contracts, took legal advice and issued a claim against Emsworth Town Council for specific performance to complete. As time moved on then to December 2021, mediation were called for between both parties, and the settlement was agreed where Sol Construction Limited agreed to pay 182,000 towards Emsworth Town Council, which obviously more than covered our costs. They waived the £50,000 section 106, so in total we gained 232,000, and they paid Wakefield Council 1.385 million what they owed their share to residual body. Emsworth Town Council then applied to Wakefield for £300,000 of this money. In fact, we asked for it all, but they granted us 300,000 to apply for. So in total, we gained 532,000 from this mediation. The balances at the bank at the moment, Barclays account, we have 540,000 in hand. CCL deposit fund, we have 230,000. And CCLA property fund, we have 237,000. So in totals, the council stands with cash in hand at £1,007,000 at the moment. So I don't think we stood in a bad position, saying that we've had 18 months of a pandemic where a lot of facilities have been closed. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask, last time we got this thing, that Barker's accounts, it's gone up quite a bit since last time you gave us an update. Can you tell me why?
850,000 the first half of the precepts committee.
So it's not, it's all spoken for?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's all spoken for. It's budget, it's precept, it's spoken for.
That's what we're still
Rent, wages, everything.
What, the 1 million is all spoken for?
No, I never said that, did I? I said the 540.
No.
It is.
It's not. We got.
It is, it's the precept, it's all paid, it's spoken for.
Yeah. The precept.
The monies in the Barclays accounts is today revenue expenditure, that's spoken for budgeted. The two amounts in the CCLA, that's the reserve.
Can I ask,
So
that
there are
CCLA,
402,000
that's the, goals money what we've got. Can I ask, when you came into power in 2019, how much was in that CCLA? Because it's gone down considerably, hasn't it? No, it's not. It was. Thank you, that's all I wanted to know. It was, it was.
Yeah, but Lakeside's taking twice as much as what it was before.
There's only 400,000 pounds in profit, not a million.
Even so, I've got to mention that, we've never had
Considerably lower since
£1 million in
2019.
bank at any time.
The
Whether it's,
1.1 million though, Jean, is because
no,
it's sold
I'm
out.
just saying collectively, John, we've never
It's
had
just to
that
try and make it similar
collectively before.
Collectively, 500,000 is already going out, so it,
No, John, it's not. The first part of that is 365,000, what first part at preset,
right.
that covers us from 1st of April to September. In September, then we get another 365,000.
What will pay more wages?
And that's paid. If you take the 365,000 off of that, that's what we've carried forward.
Is it budgeted all that money, Alan, please?
Part of that's included 182,000 we got from Saul, and then we've got another 300,000, which is not included in that, by the way, that Wakefield have agreed to put to one side for us to apply for. So if there's any things to do, like astroturf and out like that, we can use it on that.
But everybody in Wakefield can apply for that as well?
Right.
No, they can't.
Yes, they can.
Right. So, we're going to move on now to, we're on item 10,